The best mechanical keyboard offers a sublime typing experience. You won't just find them sleek to use, you'll actually want to type on these keyboards. They feel good and happen to sound pretty great too. Mechanical switches are in another league to even the best membrane options, and of course they'll be great for gaming, too. Number 1. Ducky One 3. Ducky has one hell of a reputation in the mechanical gaming keyboard world. Even in an age of dazzling keyboards plastered in flashing lights, it's kept up its no-nonsense design philosophy, which it calls quack mechanics no joke. But even dear old Ducky is also leaning into the weird and wonderful a little more. The Ducky One 3 Fuji is prime example of a more stylized and vibrant Ducky at its best. Look no further than the One 3's wonderfully colorful design for proof. This is Ducky's latest flagship keyboard and it comes in many different colors and styles. But this one is called Fuji. Every key you've seen my images of the One 3 is included in the standard Fuji design, which makes it feel like I've received a keyboard with a custom keycap set pre-installed. Every keycap on the Ducky is made from strong PBT plastic. Unlike ABS plastic, PBT tends to last a little longer, reject stains, and keep its color-matched legends from rubbing away. You have a wide choice of Cherry MX switches to choose from with the Ducky, depending on where you buy it from. I opted for Cherry MX Speed Silver switches, which are some of Cherry's finest for gaming. They offer a smooth press with only 1.2 mph travel before actuation and a total distance of 3.4 mph. The swift actuation helps with the sort of snappy response I want while gaming, while the linear press without a tactile bump or click makes for moderately low noise operation. Number 2. Desk Keyboard for Professional. Productivity doesn't have to be all doom and gloom. Neither do you have to put up with a budget membrane that came free with your work PC just to look professional in the office. Those who want a bit more style and a few more features from an otherwise down-to-earth keyboard can opt for the Desk Keyboard for Professional. Desk keyboard devices have been floating around the best mechanical keyboard lists for ages, and for good reason. Stylistically speaking, the Desk Keyboard for Professional strikes a delicate balance between professional and flashy. Its weedy metal front plate helps function and form, planting the keyboard firmly on your desk while keeping it looking sharp. Where other keyboards use small volume rollers, the Desk includes a large tactile volume knob decorated with eye-catching red chrome accents. Though we recommend the Cherry MX Blue switch if you don't need to keep your keyboard clacking down to a minimum. The Blue switch is loud as heck, but it's so responsive and feels great on your finger for typing quickly and accurately. We love it. And brown switches are a bit hot or cold. Some people love them, others find it a bit grainy. Blue it is then. Number 3. Filco Majestouch 2. The Majestouch 2 is to typing as water is to thirst. They both represent the most straightforward solutions to an underlying problem and are equally bland. It's boring, but it is still one of the best mechanical keyboards for pure typing. That's because it's a purely mechanical upgrade to your bog standard office board. So if you're used to one of those and want something mechanically better but not much different, the Majestouch 2 is it. Even against the next most boring keyboard on this list, the Filco Majestouch 2 seems lifeless in comparison. It doesn't have any fancy features to boast of, nor does it have a unique trick. Customization is limited to picking your preferred Cherry MX switch from a roster of black, brown, blue, and red. What you see here is what you get. This simplicity, however, also explains its popularity. As it turns out, some people love no-frills keyboards. Filco stuffed 104 Cherry MX switches into a durable chassis and sold it at $139, establishing the Majestouch 2 as a great starter board or dependable backup. You can find some pretty great gaming keyboards for that price nowadays, however, or simply more modern offerings. The Majestouch 2's mounting may be a bit too mundane for even the strictest of typists, and its lack of backlighting can work against it in a dimly lit room. Some users have also complained that the key legends fade too quickly. Still, we're happy recommending the Majestouch 2 for those users that care little for excess or excitement, and instead want a workhorse that will dependably keep typing for years to come. It's simple, straightforward, and doesn't ask too much of your wallet. Number 4. Fujitsu Realforce R2 RGB. Revered by ardent keyboard fans as the ultimate typing switch, the topper switch, pronounced Topre, as it stands for Tokyo Press, rarely appears in gaming keyboards due to its high cost. The topper is a mechanical switch for typists first and foremost. Number 5. Mountain Everest 60. The Mountain Everest 60 is just as iconic as the other 60% competition, just as cute, and has all the enthusiast keyboard extras you could want, but crucially has the total utility to be your daily driver of a keep. The Everest 60 isn't modular like its bigger sibling, the Mountain Everest Max, opens a new tab, but there is a dedicated numpad that can be purchased separately, and it's hot swappable. Crucially, For me, it will also attach to either side of the board. If you're still rocking a numpad on the right-hand side of your gaming keyboard, then you're just plain doing it wrong. And, hell, it's also way more convenient when thrashing your way through a good spreadsheet, too. Those benchmark numbers don't enter themselves. You know, that extra mouse space is the main reason 60% boards can have a place in gaming. But, at least for me, the traditional lack of cursor keys makes them incredibly frustrating to use full-time. Mountain obviously thinks so, too, and has squeezed them into the right-hand side of the board, squishing down the right shift key and adding in a del key as well. The original Everest Max is reassuringly solid and feels good to type on, but the Everest 60 feels so much better. It's easily the best typing experience I've ever had, and is a real joy to use. The base of the keyboard has a layer of silicone inside it to add weight and dampen the sound, but then there are also 2 layers of foam on either side of the PCB to again improve the oral experience. Number 6. Wooting Two HE. The Wooting Two HE is the best gaming keyboard, so unsurprisingly it's also great for typists. Many of its awesome analog features are gaming-centric, but not all, and you will find a great deal of use in its adjustable actuations and clever macros to level up your typing. Essentially, the Wooting works like this. If you depress a key, say the W key, rather than send a simple on/off signal to your PC, the keyboard will measure the full range of that key's motion. Wooting helped usher in the analog age of gaming keyboards, and it's still ruling the roost with every new keyboard it designs. The latest, the Wooting Two HE, uses magnets in the Hall effect to achieve what is an incredibly accurate analog movement across every key on the keyboard. And because every key is analog, you can use the analog functionality to your advantage in heaps of interesting ways. The Wooting Two HE differs from the Wooting One and Wooting Two in how it measures analog input. However, where the older Wooting boards relied on optical FlareTech switches, the newer HE board uses the Lecker switch, made by Wooting with popular switch maker Garin, and relies on the Hall effect, hence Wooting Two HE to achieve analog input. Number 7. Keychron V1. The Keychron V1 is our pick for the best entry-level wired keyboard, starting at just $84 for a fully assembled model. It's one of the more affordable options on this list, but it feels almost as nice to type on as keyboards costing twice as much, and its build quality is lovely and sturdy. It also sounds amazing, with no discernible stabilizer L, and its 75% layout offers a nice mix of compactness without sacrificing too many important keys. For such a low price, the V1 is packed with features usually found on enthusiast keyboards. It offers hot swappable switches with south-facing RGB backlighting, and its switches and stabilizers feel nice and smooth. It's fully programmable. You can remap every key using the intuitive and powerful VIA software on top of Q&K, which works on Windows, Mac, and Linux and lets you do everything from moving keys around to programming macros directly into the keyboard itself. The V1 comes with nice durable double-shot PBT keycaps, with both Mac and Windows legends, and a switch on the back of the keyboard lets you toggle between layouts instantly. You can get it with a volume knob for an extra $10, pictured, or save $20 and buy a barebones version without keycaps or switches. Our sample came with Keychron's own tactile K Pro Brown switches, but there are also clicky and linear options. Number 8. Epomaker TH80. For wireless mechanical keyboard option, we really like the Epomaker TH80. It feels fantastic to type on, supports Bluetooth connections to up to 3 different devices, and also includes a 2.4 GHz wireless USB dongle if you don't want to mess around with Bluetooth pairing. We also like that it has separate Mac-specific keycaps in the box and allows you to switch between Mac and Windows layouts with a simple keyboard shortcut, like the Keychron V1 and Cone. The Epomaker TH80 is a 75% keyboard with hot swap switches and a volume knob. Our review sample came with linear Garin Pro Yellow switches, but there is a range of linear and clicky options available. The Epomaker TH80's layout can be remapped with software that works on both Mac and Windows computers.